Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a kind old man named Geppetto who made a wooden puppet named Pinocchio. Pinocchio said excitedly, "I wish I could be a real boy." And Jiminy the cricket replied, "Remember, Pinocchio, you must always be honest and brave." One day, Pinocchio saw children playing and exclaimed, "I want to play too!" But then he met two sneaky friends, the fox and the cat, who said, "Follow us to the fun." As they walked, Pinocchio felt a little scared and said, "Are you sure this is the way?" Meanwhile, Geppetto called out, "Pinocchio, where are you, my dear boy?" Pinocchio gasped. "Wow, look at all the fun here," the sly fox whispered to the cat. "He'll never want to go home now." Suddenly, Pinocchio found himself on stage and shouted, "Look at me, I'm a star!" But just then, Geppetto arrived and cried, "Pinocchio, I was so worried about you." Pinocchio's smile faded and he said softly, "Oh no, I made you worry, didn't I?" Geppetto replied, "It's okay, my boy. I just want you to be safe." Pinocchio hugged Geppetto tightly and said, "I promise to be honest from now on." The fox and cat grumbled, thinking, "We didn't trick him after all." Back at home, Pinocchio opened a book and declared, "From now on, I will always tell the truth." Jiminy the cricket cheered, "That's the spirit, Pinocchio." From that day on, Pinocchio played with his friends, saying, "I am so happy to be honest." Geppetto smiled, knowing his wooden boy was becoming a real boy. Pinocchio and Geppetto started a garden, and Pinocchio said, "Let's grow vegetables together." Jiminy chirped, "I'll help you learn how to care for them." When the vegetables were ready, Pinocchio exclaimed, "Look at what we grew together." Geppetto clapped and said, "You did an amazing job, my dear boy." One sunny day, while watering the plants, Pinocchio accidentally spilled too much water and shouted, "Oh no, what's happening?" Suddenly, the vegetables began to grow bigger and bigger. Pinocchio gasped and laughed. "Look at this giant carrot. It's bigger than me." Geppetto chuckled. "This is the most amazing garden ever." Soon, all the village children came running to see the giant vegetables, shouting, "Wow, look at these!" Pinocchio beamed and said, "We grew them together." Geppetto decided to share their giant vegetables with everyone, and the village celebrated with delicious meals. Pinocchio danced around, saying, "This is the best day ever." As they all ate together, Geppetto said, "This feast is special because of our teamwork." Pinocchio smiled and replied, "And being honest helped us grow these amazing veggies." Pinocchio stood on a chair and announced, "Thank you all for coming. Remember to always be honest and work together." The crowd clapped and cheered, filled with joy. As night fell, Pinocchio and Geppetto walked home hand in hand, feeling grateful for their wonderful day. Jiminy the cricket said, "What an adventure we had." In bed, Pinocchio whispered, "I can't wait for tomorrow." Geppetto smiled and replied, "Dream big, my boy, and always remember the magic of honesty." That night, Pinocchio dreamed of dancing among giant vegetables and sharing joy with his friends. As the sun rose, he smiled, knowing every day could be amazing. The next morning, Pinocchio jumped out of bed and said, "Today is going to be wonderful." Meanwhile, Geppetto cooked delicious pancakes, saying, "Let's start the day with a tasty breakfast." As they enjoyed their breakfast, Pinocchio said, "This is the best way to start the day." Geppetto nodded and replied, "Yes, and we have many adventures waiting for us outside."